another edition of my favourite game show to host here on YouTube. It is, of course, Higher or Lower, and we are going into different territory today. We've covered a lot of the kind of bigger Nigerian artists. We've even covered Alkaline over in Jamaica, but today we are heading over to Zambia, a country I've got so much love for, and we have got someone on the line today who has interviewed me before on his show. It's someone that's given me the time of day, given me a platform with what he does, and it's about time I return the favour. DJ Pressure T's on the line. How are you doing, sir?
I'm all right. How are you doing? I'm happy to be here. I'm excited.
I'm really glad to get you on, man. Again, we actually spoke, as I said, on your show. It was about a year. It's over a year ago at this point. And that was a very, very crazy day. I was running around London like a nutter in the back of cabs, trying to get to different places. So I'm glad we can actually get you on. We can get you onto Cubcan TV as well, so we can actually run through Higher or Lower. As you can see on the screen today, we're going to be discussing the incredible artistry of Yomaps. And obviously, this is someone that you've interviewed very recently. I've got to ask, what's he like as a person, man? What's he like?
He's a nervous guy. He's a shy guy. Less of a talker. But when it comes to the studio, I've had conversations with him off the camera. He's a cool guy, an outspoken guy. But once you just open the microphones, is like I said, is a guy who doesn't speak too much. And too many dramas. I don't know if you've been following him on social media.
I've heard the most recent single, and I've assumed that that's got something to do with what's going on at the moment. But yeah.
So most of his songs based on what it goes through. Most of the songs, and also something that people can easily relate to. And this brand new song, by the way, it got 1 million views in 4 days. 4 days. And looking at Zambia's population, we're about 18 million people. And if you have people getting 1 million views in 4 days, it's a big achievement, and that makes it to be a big artist in our country. So it's something that here we celebrate when an artist gets 1 million views. We look at it as a bigger picture, and we're happy for him. It's getting those numbers because people didn't know how to stream, people didn't know how to access music online, but now we're getting there as a country.
It's amazing to see, man. Again, I've absolutely loved getting into what Yomaps is doing. He actually reached out to me and said thank you for all the reviews as well, which is so cool to see. And I'm loving the fact that there is now this, I suppose, more sort of global look at what's going on with a lot of Zambian musicians. We're seeing the same with Slap D. We're seeing it with Natasha Chansa as well. Like, loads of people are finally tapping in to some of the incredible artistry that's going on. Maki too as well. It's awesome to see, which is why I wanted to get you on for this, because obviously you've interviewed the guy recently. It's going to be interesting to see how much you know about his streaming figures, which is where it gets really, really fun. So we're going to open up the show with Blessings, as you can see on screen right now. Blessings, Follow Me, has 304,000 streams on Spotify. So I need to know, does So Chabe have more or less streams than Blessings, Follow Me?
It has lower streams.
Has lower? We're going to go straight in, and you are correct. 1 out of 1 already. We are on the roll. We are moving. The first one's always the interesting one because people never really know how to gauge it, especially when it's Spotify, because Spotify is obviously it's seen in different ways all around the world. But okay, we're going to move straight on to the next one then. The next track is Sometimes alongside J-Rocks. Does that track have more or less streams on Spotify than So Chabe?
It has lower.
Lower again? You sure? Is that your final answer?
Yeah, it's my final answer.
And you are correct again. 2 out of 2. But there we go. Yes, Sometimes with J-Rocks, 19,952. So you're on 2 out of 2 so far. Really, really good. Really, really good start so far. Yeah. There we go. This is you're on roll to have the best start. It depends on this next one. This is the next one that's actually going to clinch whether you have the best start on this program. Does Location have more or less streams than Sometimes?
It's high. It has high streams.
You're going higher, and you're correct again. 131,000 on Spotify for Location. So there we go. 3 out of 3. You're on a roll, sir. You're on a roll. This is really enjoyable. And this next one I feel might be a bit of a difficult one. This might be the kind of stutter point, perhaps, because these two I can say are close. That's the clue I'm going to give you. Mr. Romantic, more or less streams on Mr. Romantic or Location. Bear in mind, this is Spotify specific.
I'm going with higher.
You're going with higher?
Yeah.
You've done it again. Correct again. 4 out of 4 so far. The guy knows his Yomaps, man. The guy knows his stuff. There we go, 4 out of 4. Yeah, Mr. Romantic, 155,000 on that one. Now, this next one will be very interesting indeed, purely because it's a track we've already spoken about. It's a more recent release, and it is l.a.x. What is the... Are we going higher or lower on l.a.x. than Mr. Romantic? More or less?
Which song is that, Mr. Romantic?
Does l.a.x. have more or less than Mr. Romantic?
It has more.
You're going to go more? And it is lower. It is lower.
I was not sure about that. Okay, but
there we go. So, you know, to be fair, 4 out of 5 after the first 5 is really, really good. I think that's joint highest we've ever had on this show. So you're doing really, really well. But again, a more recent tune, I think that's probably the only reason why it hasn't got the kind of streaming level. I think this may go on to be his biggest on Spotify, based off the streaming and how it's all working. Especially, as you said, hitting 1 million on YouTube in 4 days is an incredible achievement for any artist, realistically. So, there we go. Moving forward then, does Y have more or less streams?
It has more streams.
We're going to go more for Y. And you are correct. You're back on the roll. You're back on the roll. There we go. 116,000 streams on Y. Again, it's really interesting to actually see these, because the interesting thing I always find about doing this show is the Spotify streams never correlate to either YouTube or Audio Mac or Apple Music or any of the other streaming platforms. It's always completely different. But you're doing really well. Again, 5 out of 6. Really, really good start. We're going to move on to Commando alongside Slap D. Does that have more or less streams than a Y?
It has more streams.
We're going to go more. And he's dropped it again. It's 63,000, so it is actually lower on Commando on Spotify. Less streams. Less streams on that one. So, you're currently sat on 5 out of 7, which is really good. Really, really good regardless. There's 2 left, which should be really interesting. We're going to get into a track next. Pick It Up with Mike Burner. More or less streams on Pick It Up?
It has more streams.
We're going to go higher. And you are correct.
Yes.
264,000. As far as I'm aware, this is in his top... I think this is his second most streamed tune on Spotify so far, for Yo Maps. So that's an interesting one. Really, really interesting one. Right, we have one more track left on this listing. And it is Osana Isia. I need to make sure I'm saying this right. Osana Isia. Is there more or less on Osana Isia?
Lower.
You're going to go lower. I'm loving the directness of this as well. I'm loving no hesitation, straight in, bang. And you are correct. 143,000. It is lower. So you have smashed this one out the park, sir. There we go. 7 out of 9 is your total score. How are you feeling about that as a total score?
I'm happy. I'm excited. Like, to be honest with you, I'm happy. I'm excited because you know how YouTube and streaming is a bit different. But yeah, for some of us who like to stream music,
yeah,
but let's we're gonna try more.
There we go. 7 out of 9 is really, really good. Again, we should probably revisit this in a couple of years' time, maybe when Spotify's a little bit more embedded. I feel the streams will all look completely different, and it's going to be really interesting to see how that goes. Again, it's an absolute pleasure to get you on. It's always great to talk to people and get people onto this show. Where can people follow you in regards to, obviously, YouTube? You're a prominent YouTuber yourself. Where can people follow you on there and on socials and things like that?
Okay, so on YouTube is DJ PMC, aka Pressure T. On Facebook, the same username. On all the platforms, I use the same username. That's DJ Pressure T, aka PMC. Follow me if you want to be up to date on what's happening in Zambia, and hoping that we also conquer the world. Like you are doing, man. You're doing amazing work. Big ups to you as well.
Thank you, sir.
We've been watching your YouTube channel, and I've been recommending a lot of guys in Zambia, saying, yo, guys, we have people that are supporting Zambian music, because that's been our biggest cry as a country, saying, yo, we have no people playing our music out there. But ish, man, it's quite very inspiring to know that we have people like you who are there to help Zambian music. And that's something that our artists here are really grateful, because I've had conversations with all these guys that you've been reacting to their videos, and they're happy. They're happy with your reaction. They know. They even talk about you, saying, yo, you know what you're doing, man. And we really appreciate it.
It's awesome, man. I love doing it. I love being able to react to music. It's a privilege of mine to be able to sit here and kind of break stuff down. So there we go. A massive shouts out to everyone who has checked out this video. If you are new to the channel as well, make sure you are getting involved by hitting that subscribe button on the right-hand side of the page. Make sure you go and sub to Pressure T's channel as well. Some wicked interview content on there, including that recent one with Yo Maps. I sat and listened through the entire thing. Really interesting to kind of hear the sort of in-depth stuff. And again, you're a proper energetic radio host, which I always love to see on that side of things. So there we go. Guys, make sure you are getting involved, hitting that subscribe button, subscribe to both channels, and we shall see you all next time. Peace.
Sounding so good right now. But they're sounding a Brighton town.
Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel right now, Cub Cam TV. Stay locked.